And this will be the extended remix.
I love it.
No bag on the shoulder, baby.
No.
So we could get to all of it. We had that was some WNBA talk.
Real talk.
Yeah, that was real talk.
In the break, no doubt.
Now, can I go first?
Go ahead, kid.
You're the leader of this show.
You're driving this bus.
So Friday, I went to the Giants game thinking I was going to just watch a regular baseball game. And I left to the car solo dolo. Shout out Gotham Mike. I was in the Gotham Club.
I saw the picture.
Yeah,
you shared it. Thank you.
Now, the electricity call me Ben Franklin, because I was not ready for that electricity. It was incredible. It's what every team and ballpark should have at their disposal. And I'm not changing the Giants not making the playoffs, Willard, Dibs, and Larry. I'm not going to ignore now and say it's okay that the Giants don't have what the Yankees have. And I just go back to trying to court that star, the Harper, the Judge. That was incredible. It's something I haven't felt since Barry Bonds, watching him live. But again, I'm not throwing rocks at the Giants, but the way that ended yesterday, Willard and Dibs, it's incredible, and I'm jealous and envious of the New York Yankee fans that get to watch that on a daily basis.
That's the word. You nailed the word. If anybody, wherever your angle is today, no matter what it is, you be mad at Farhan again, or the Frisbee guy.
Yeah.
He pitched
He was
well.
good, though.
Yeah.
He pitched great.
You want to decide now
it's
today
your
that
quote-unquote closer.
Camilo Duvall now stinks, apparently. Sure. Whatever angle you want, what we all felt yesterday was jealousy.
So I shouldn't be ashamed of it.
It's one of the worst emotions to feel in life.
Shout out the gin blossoms.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, whatever it is, back in high school when somebody,
I know,
right? Somebody else gets your girl or whatever. It is something I've actually tried to build literally my life against. My God, we live in California. I try to teach my kids this. You don't get to, I don't care if your neighbor's got an extra story on their house. You want me to show you some things? We're not doing jealousy. We're not doing jealousy on the California coast. We're just not doing it.
Wow.
But my God, we did it over the weekend. Because in baseball terms, there's just absolutely no comparison whatsoever to our baseball team. And now there are baseball teams coming in and they're taking our vibe.
Oh, boy.
They're taking our stadium.
Yeah, wow.
And that's where it starts to get personal.
Damn.
This weekend sucked.
There were
There's
some
no
Yankee
two ways
fans
about
in the
it.
house.
Couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple of them.
Well, and you see the Soto homer in Sunday's game, and you see the angle from third base side, and you see the entire section.
I saw it.
And then Soto turns to the dugout and quintuple bat flips,
and then the hop.
Pimp, and the hop and all the rest of it. And it's wow, go ahead, kid. Because this team there's no pushback from the Giants. Go ahead. We're going to throw you strikes, guys. Wow. Judge, have a strike. Soto, here you go. Have a strike. You guys can hit home runs. And you know what? We want to make our fans, and by our fans, I mean the Yankee fans who paid money for us to watch you. We want to make sure you're happy. Welcome in, Yankee fans.
The only thing I would say is if you really, that you could make an argument. I've heard people say this before, and I kind of agree with it, that you couldn't overpay Judge. You couldn't overpay Shohei. Those guys are on a level where I don't know that you can overpay them because you can make so much money, marketing, merchandising, all that stuff. So I think if the Giants are ever going to land one of these guys, it's going to have to be with an epic, historical overpay. And I don't know how that's how the Giants would feel about that, how the Giants fans would feel about that, how people would react to that in the industry. But don't you think that's kind of the only thing that's going to change this trend?
That was my response to Greg Johnson saying that there's a ballpark issue and that especially these left-handed guys, whether it's an Ohtani, a Harper, and now a Soto, they don't want to hit in this ballpark. I think that's the only way that you can fight it. The other thing I'd say, though, about a quote-unquote overpay is that we fans never actually know that even happened. There have been rumors that nobody was even sniffing what they gave Jung-Hoo Lee. I don't know if anybody was within $40 million of that. I don't care. Why would I care? You got your guy. The one question I have on an Ohtani or a Judge is, were the Giants even given an opportunity to overpay? I have no idea. The way you hear the stories go down, Ohtani didn't even let anyone offer him anything. He just walked into a bunch of places and goes, here's the deal we're doing. Do you say yes or no? Everybody said yes, and then he went, cool, I'm a Dodger. Judge, of course, had the Giants as the highest bidder and made the Yankees come up and match it, and by 4 a.m, he was a Yankee.
Friday night, he said he was close.
Weren't the Padres supposedly the highest bidder for Judge?
No,
too?
that was over 100 years, though. Like, they went highest overall number, but they went from 9 years to like 14, and they were going to stretch that whole thing out. So, again, and all these are also, I don't know how much of this is true, how much of it was false. If Judge truly was like, I'm not leaving the Yankees, he was, no matter what, you know what I mean? Like, did he go back to the Giants and be like, do I hear 400? What would the Giants have said? I don't even know if that happened. But your premise, I agree with. Like, you want a power hitter? Yeah, I guess that's what you're going to have to do.
Okay, here's my thought on it, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. I think that you can't do the boy that cried wolf over and over and over again. I don't like coming out of this weekend. A couple buddies of mine last night sent me text. Man, it would be awesome to see the Giants and what they go after, what they offer Soto this offseason. Yeah. And I'm like, no. Stop going down this road. Stop dragging the entire fan base by the nose. Stop teasing us with this. If you're going to go get a big-time guy, why not give that gigantic first baseman they have in A-ball, Bryce Eldridge, why not front him as the package and go trade for Vladdy Jr., go trade for Pete Alonso? Don't you think a surprise trade in July that nets the Giants some monster middle-of-the-order bat is so much more attractive, even though you're paying prospects, than another free agent run against the rest of the teams in baseball? I think we've seen the movie. I think we know how it ends. I don't think we want to. I don't think it's a good thing for the Giants. I don't think it's a healthy thing for the Giants to drag their fan base through another Soto. Maybe not.
Soto.
Maybe. You know, I think it's better.
He likes to hit here.
Yeah,
it's pretty clear.
Go make a
that
trade,
dude is
and the crowd loves him here.
Yeah.
The crowd loves Soto here.
Go make a trade, and then guess what? You can just, in the middle of like a July sports day, all of a sudden they can be like, hey, guess what? The Giants just got Pete Alonso. That is going to play so much better than a free agent.
I don't disagree. I don't know how. I mean, the Blue Jays guy came out just yesterday.
We talked about it.
We're not trading either of these guys. I don't know why everyone's talking about
right
this.
now.
No, those are just words.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, I don't even know Alonso's availability. But I'm with you in that the criticism I'd have if Greg Johnson's going to bring up the ballpark. I know some people call that a cop out. I'm kind of like, look, it is what it is. There are bricks. It's in the ground. If hitters are saying, if left-handed hitters don't want to hit there, I totally get it. But then you need to battle that with what you have. And there's only 3 ways you can fight that. A, overpay. B, start using your first and second round draft picks on hitters instead of pitchers. But that's a waiting game too. And C, trade. You got to trade.
Or D, change the configuration of your ballpark.
Now, you could, but I mean,
they've tried that.
They did it once.
Yep.
Do they need to do it much more significantly? I think it's.
I don't think Soto has a problem if he were here. That ball.
I mean, none of those Yankees had a problem, right?
Schwarber or Ohtani, they were just
this time, but they would over the long haul. They would
over 81.
You lose. You're going to lose 7 or 8 homers a year.
You're going to get oracled at least 7 or 8 times. And think about Yankee Stadium, that short porch and
That's just a ripoff.
That's a massive stadium with a tiny little short porch. Leaving. So I don't know. I mean, they got to figure out something because the Giants' face of the franchise, as Goo and I just had that conversation, is a faceless face of the franchise.
We tried to come up with a non-pitcher.
Is it Logan Webb?
No, you can't. It's got to be an everyday player.
Oh, Webb.
He went yes.
I said yes.
I went Lamont.
Yes is what? Pre-Arb 2? Or Arb 1?
Yeah, but I mean, yes.
I mean, it's not yes.
And it's no shade at any player. It's just
you want to know what's so sad?
Probably is yes.
Give it to me.
It's so sad.
Who do you think it is?
I'm like the biggest diehard fan ever, and you guys are saying this, and I clicked on the roster. How sad is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, let me see if there's someone I'm forgetting.
Right.
Let me scroll through the roster.
It's probably Bailey, to be honest.
Yeah,
man. And I love the kid.
Bailey.
He's probably the most important player. I'd agree with you on that.
Or is he the one we're not disappointed in yet?
No, I mean,
because it can't be Ramos or Matos.
We're also talking about face.
Yeah,
we're talking about face.
Bailey is more established than those guys.
I mean, Bailey's the best player. But I mean, if we're going to use the old ratty, hey, they're both on a corner in downtown San Francisco, more people are showing up for Yaz.
Yeah, look at you.
That's the Ratty. He's talking about Ratty. So
sounds a lot like the
GOAT.
No, he had it before Bill Burr. Bill Burr stole it from him.
If Bailey and Yaz are walking through SFO,
for sure,
more people recognize.
That's just time, though.
Yaz.
That's just number of years.
Nobody recognizes either one of them.
Bailey,
and
Bailey's got a mask on when he's out there.
And if you want to throw Sean Jelly in, they're going to run over to Sean Jelly because he's 6'11".
That's true.
Did you guys catch the look of Chapman, who I believe, Matt Chappie, is old school. He comes from that old school cloth. I rewound it 8 times. Look, do yourself a favor and watch the look Chapman gave Doval as Doval's walking off the field to the dugout. His back's turned. He doesn't even know Chappie's looking at him. And Chappie had a look of like disgust. Not you didn't have your stuff today. It happens. Whatever you were dilly-gagging or I felt like Chapman felt like Doval he wasn't there mentally, and Chapman he didn't take his eyes off of him. I'll send you the video.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I was like, and couple people on Twitter, they saw it too, but I said, something's up, but that was only a second blown save
of
the season.
That doesn't
watch it. But didn't Doval look like he was somewhere else yesterday? It wasn't just he was having a bad day. It was like,
no, he's just facing hitters that don't. He's facing hitters that don't care if it's 101. And there's only a few of them out there.
Yeah.
And most of them are on the Yankees and Dodgers, and it sucks. That's it.
And the Phillies, you're 3-12 against those 3 teams.
Yeah.
Wow. Phillies, Dodgers, Yankees, you're 3-12.
The Philly lineup does not feel like facing the Dodger and Yankee lineup to me. There's a great on the Phillies, and then other than that, they're very good.
Larry said they took the Giants. The Phillies didn't take them serious. That's why the Giants won 2.
Well, just because I just think Phillies weren't playing necessarily all that great. I just looked at that series. Giants got the first game. Philly took that third game.
The second one's a weirdo game. Like, no one has scored yet. That was a fake run. That's a 2024 run that the Giants scored. Good that they got it.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants are just, there are the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Yankees. They're 100-win pace type teams. The Giants are just, I think they were thoroughly outclassed this weekend. Outclassed.
Hold on, Larry. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM and HD, 1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Go ahead, Larry.
You hear that, Steiny? It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Randy got
he didn't hear it. He's back east. So,
maybe he's got the free Odyssey app on.
Could be.
We got a text from him earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And I heard Butcher call in with a great hot take. You guys were talking about, like,
what did he say?
Just talking about players who only play one sport and how bad it is for young athletes to try to specialize at an early age.
Oh, God, I couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah.
Let the kids have fun, for crying out loud.
Right.
We let them have fun. I give everybody a quick lesson with something that happened over the weekend.
Oh.
It's 10-year-old baseball.
I've been there, though.
But it's 10-year-old baseball. So the championship you win, if you win it, is 10-year-old baseball. Good God, don't display that in your house. That's absurd. So my son's team, and he's a good little player, and he's got a good little team, and they were the 2 seed, and so they got a first-round bye. And then their first game was on Saturday. And the other team that was, the quote-unquote underdog.
Yeah.
Where's a good team? Right. Yeah. Good team.
Rest versus rust.
And boy, I was screaming that in the 4th inning. I'm like, it's because we're rested. No. So they played great, and they built up a big lead. And then we got our legs underneath, got their top pitcher out of the game, and here comes the comeback. And you get to the last inning, and Jude whacks one to the outfield. And
Look at him.
One run is in. And here comes the cell. Nope, stop. Run down at third base. Long story short, kid got called out at third base when he was safe by a 2.5 seconds. It killed the rally. We lost by 2 runs.
Oh.
So there's tears. There's
I've been there.
The energy of the building. Within 6 minutes, the kids on my son's team are at their pizza party chasing one another around the park. That's it. There's your lesson.
Right.
They don't care. Why do we?
Because the parents do too much.
They are fine. Especially when they found out there's a consolation bracket. We get to play again on Wednesday. Who cares? I don't even think there's a trophy. I don't even know what we win if we had won. So, like,
there'll be pizza again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that's
and by the way, there was a cooler with beer. It was fine.
Nice.
We did great. I was like, this is a great game.
Shout out Buttermaker.
Yeah.
Kids drinking beer in the dugout, you know.
Cheers.
Yeah, awesome.
Anyway.
There aren't enough examples of kids drinking beer. You know, that's really what it comes down to.
Fair.
Should have come to Marin.
I thought of Kelly on Bad News Bears. He was sipping.
Exactly, Kelly Leak. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And
the call,
Engelbert and all the guys. Go ahead.
Chesky's call was, we were talking about what I deem baseball losing its young black population.
Yes.
And Chesky called in and brought up some great points, and Larry was in on it too with the financial component. And I was saying too, you know, my sons were calling it boring, broke my heart. One of them played. I forced them to play through high school. But it was, you know, a lot of people had something to say about it. So I don't know where you were at, but I know growing up, you know, baseball, I could drive down the neighborhood and we were playing. Not so much these days.
At all. And I mean, you know, I raised my kids in Oakland, and you know, you can't really go down to a park and play baseball. You go down to a park in most neighborhoods, and the park is not really baseball friendly. And so, and you know how it is. We're all parents here, and we don't send our kids out to play like we were sent out to play. When I was a kid, we were, okay, come back at dark, you know.
Street lights.
Exactly. You brought your baseball bat, you brought your glove, you brought a couple of tennis balls or whatever, and you were gone for 8 hours, and you played baseball, and you went over in the cul-de-sac. You went down to McDowell Elementary in Petaluma or La Tercera, and you played against those kids, and you played. And now we don't do that with our kids. We don't just say, go play, because we're also afraid of what that will be. Oh, they're going to get snatched up or whatever's going to happen. And so the idea of just going and playing doesn't happen as much as it used to. And I also think that the financial component is a big one, especially around baseball and, you know, with the AAU and all the rest of it and travel ball. And I was talking to somebody last week about a baseball bat, and his kid wants a bat, and the bat that he needs is $400.
That's what Shasky was saying, $500.
So,
man.
I mean, if you don't have that bat, then you can't hit as well as the kid who has that bat. And so now you're at a disadvantage anyway, even if you're playing Little League.
Well, I would also add this, and I do think that this is where analytics trickles down and hurts us all and the game. Because I understand the whole analytics movement and why it's started to take over. I don't know if teams that are just blowing off analytics can beat teams that use analytics anymore. I don't know. But what I know is analytics and a non-salary capped league leads to, look what we're talking about right now. There are about 8, 9, 10 like really cool players in the game. And they're all on 3 teams.
Right.
And so how many cities don't have a cool player that the kids want to go to the park and emulate? Like,
I'm going to say the Giants might be one of them.
For sure they are.
For sure.
It's almost all of them. It's almost all of them.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you've got someone who you think might end up being cool, like an O'Neal Cruz or an Ellie De La Cruz, but we're not even 100% sure yet. Like, are they great? Like, as you were talking, I was thinking about Ken Griffey Jr. Like, is that player ever going to play in Seattle ever again?
Wow.
How many lineups come into Oracle Park and you're like, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know who any of them are. And if so, what has happened is through platoons and the fast track from the minors back and forth, let's use up all their options, and all of that has taken the personality and the people, the larger than life characters, out of the game. And the fewer of those we have,
are all on. Wow.
You talk about kids going out to play. I used to ride that bike down to Long's or Safeway and buy baseball cards.
Strikeout Larry was bringing up.
Nobody,
that.
right?
Love that game.
And you would open up and you'd be like, I hope I get one of these guys or one of these guys or one of these guys. And maybe it's because we're of a certain age, so we don't feel it that much anymore, but I just don't think there are that many cool players anymore in the league because everyone's been watered down.
Well, 2 of them are on the Yankees. Soto, that dude,
And Judge and Stanton.
Yeah, he's found a home,
yeah.
Soto, with all his antics, but that was incredible to watch.
It was, and let's just go ahead and queue up into, I don't know, November when he's going to be a free agent and all of us, Soto.
I'm not doing it this time.
No, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because we all are.
Yeah, Willard,
You're
for
doing
real.
it.
I refuse.
You do the show yourself.
I will. And I'm going to do today's show myself, too,
No, you're
because
not.
here, have a strike, Judgy Kins.
I'll give you something there.
Dude, what are we doing? This Giants team is so flippin' soft. This team, top to bottom, is soft.
I do want to ask you, what would you have done?
Make somebody uncomfortable.
And how?
Maybe you throw, I threw that one 4 feet behind you. My bad. That was 97 past your ear. Whoops. That one got away from you.
Do you think that would bother Aaron Judge?
I do think so, yeah.
But it would send a message to your fan base that this ain't cool. Y'all have come to my home. You got my remote, my house slippers. You're in the fridge.
Exactly.
It's not about scaring the Yankees.
Talk to me about this.
It's about sending
my
a message
wife's
to
in
your
bed with a
fans that
negligee.
this
Go
is
ahead and
not
have
cool.
your way
Hold
with
on,
it.
That's all. I'm with him on that.
This ain't cool. What is this? What
You guys using our cathedral like your home.
You're mad at yourselves.
No, I'm mad at the team.
Nope.
I'm mad at the team.
So why are you dotting the Yankees? They didn't do this.
Well, it was a brushback. I wouldn't actually hit anybody.
Why don't you throw the ball in the front office?
Well,
That's who you're mad at.
We've done that for 4 hours.
So do it. Keep that up.
But you get
my
some
only
of that,
response
Willard.
to
You
that.
get
the
some
front
of that.
office doesn't hit home runs.
Yeah, you get some of that.
You get a slugger coming in, and you make him feel so comfortable.
I just don't
Give him
think.
the Caitlin Clark treatment.
I don't think.
Mike, we got to get to
Well,
her.
and you're being hypocritical based on what you just said.
No, I have no problem with the hard foul on Caitlin Clark. My problem is with her teammates.
And I'm right behind you.
Her teammates did nothing to help her.
Yep.
And
They're
you know
jealous.
If Angel Reese wants to swing an elbow and throw her to the ground, then it's her right to do so. It's competitive pro sports, but her teammates need to step up and do something. And that's where...
That, by the way, wasn't just a hard foul. That was a cheap shot.
It was completely cheap shot.
I don't know.
There was many cheap shots.
I don't know if that's a good situation for the league to just sit there and be like, you know what, it's on our teammates. There's got to be something from the league that says, you know what, that's not what we want.
It's
right?
not.
I mean, that can't be what they want.
But in the moment, you should have your teammates back.
They should have ran over there and all hell broke out.
And if I'm the
she's only
Giants,
been on the team for about 10 days, right? I mean,
she's your teammate, Larry.
Yeah,
she played 11
a jersey.
And here's the other problem.
But I
and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds with WNBA, but they had them.
Why not?
Because most people don't care like I care, Larry, but they played 11 games in 20 days, the Fever. They've played more games than any of the team.
That's good Fever knowledge.
In the association. And it's a joke because they want to monetize Caitlin Clark. So they're putting her out there like 3 and 4 times in 5 and 6 nights. And so they're not playing well. And then you have other teams going after her and, cheap shotting her. And that's fine. That's basketball. That happens. And that's part of the rite of passage. But my issue is with them not having her back. Like she gets knocked down and nobody does anything.
I would push back and say that absolutely is not basketball. I mean, what we saw there was not basketball. It just happened to be within the context
What
of
does she
basketball.
represent to the other girls in the like? You had 2 girls on the opposite team say, we're not going to answer any Caitlin Clark questions, one.
Right.
And then the other girl chimes in, what does she bring to the game outside of shooting? So now we're breaking down every player. Again, I just don't know what she didn't cover herself. Her play got her to where she's at in regard to she was blockbuster, but the shade and hate from the people in the media is just out of control. And I'm with Dibs. It starts in your own home, Larry. If your teammates aren't going to come over there and say this is not cool just because she's my teammate, then I don't know what to do. And Jamel Hill, shame on you, the great Jamel Hill, to send an 8-year-old footage of Bill Laimbeer when he was coaching and there was a dust up on the WNBA to say, this is how this always happens, is not this. This is bad, man. I feel bad for the young lady.
It's jealousy. It's sad jealousy. But unfortunately, it's also misplaced because she's generating revenue that you're making.
And discussion. See, I think that some of these things are bad for the individuals, but it's not bad for the league. we're talking about the WNBA right now in the crossover.
And it's not the first time.
Like, are you kidding me?
We've talked about women's basketball more in the past 4 months than we have in my 13 years in this
Well,
state.
you got me there when you said the crossover.
This is an amazing promotional opportunity for the WNBA, but there are certain individuals, and I think that this is new. It's new for certain sports. I don't think that this is how it's always been in the WNBA, but think about the NBA. Where, traditionally, I think we've watched through the years where men might be a little bit quicker to do things like trash talk, right? And so when you've got players who've been doing this for generations, from Jordan and Bird and Kobe and whatnot, anybody who trash talks knows what they're trying to get, and it is a reaction. It's the same people that are doing this to you right now on the text line or YouTube. Yeah. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. If you get that reaction, the trash talker wins. Yeah. Caitlin Clark is getting that reaction. So I would just tell those people that are giving her cheap shots from behind, if you want to beat Caitlin Clark, there's a very easy way to do it. You do what they did to her yesterday. Make her go 1 for 10.
3 points.
And beat her.
Yeah.
What did Chicago do?
Yeah, no doubt.
They lost.
Okay.
They lost the basketball game, and the whole world is talking about Caitlin after. So ask Chennedy Carter, who won? Did you win?
Okay.
You shoved her in the back. Who won? Now you lost the game, and the whole world feels sympathy for Caitlin Clark.
Wow.
So who won?
Yeah, and I'll say this, Willard, I get that, and this is therapy for me. I'm going to put the rat on the table. I believe there's a race element to this.
Of course there is.
If Caitlin Clark was black, you cannot tell me they would be treating her like this. That's what it comes from. Something is going on, and I'm tired of everybody pussyfooting around it, but I believe there's a race component to this, and that's why everybody else, her teammates included, seemed turned off or jealous. There was a thing Steiny brought up with the shoe contract that she got, and now I'm wondering if the girls deem she's not worthy of it. But I wonder if she was African-American, would they be doing what they're doing to Caitlin Clark like they are now?
Look, I absolutely believe, and in fact have been told in certain conversations, there is a race element to this because there are a number of players who feel like they've been there working, building this whole product, playing great basketball for a very long time. And now Caitlin Clark just walks in here and she gets all the attention, having not scored one basket in this league.
But isn't that how it always happens?
Yes, then? I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just telling you that's how a lot of the current players, that's how a lot of them feel. They feel like the cart is before the horse. The attention is before the achievement. But there's also no way to fight that. Like the toothpaste is beyond out of the tube. And if you don't see the financial gain in Caitlin being in your league,
man,
I don't know what to tell you.
And that's for everybody.
Right.
It's, financial benefit for everybody, future players who are there now. And it's not as easy as just, looking at it and hating on it when you think about it from a more global standpoint. And that's where, you mentioned Tiger Woods before with golf.
Yep.
And, you had some golfers at the time who were hating on Tiger because of their racist views
But unlike Caitlin, it was his greatness. He was at the top.
Right. It will be her greatness. I'm not saying she's going to be Tiger Woods, but she's going to be a good player. And she's going to be probably a player who can, hold her own. And, 1 for 10 right now from 3 and 3 points. And I think she's leading the league still in turnovers. She's a rookie.
She's learning.
She's learning, and she's doing more than what a normal rookie would be asked to do because she is Caitlin Clark.
Once again, though, I know we got to run, but, the thing about Tiger, the one thing I do remember about Tiger is that a lot of people didn't like playing in the group after Tiger.
Yeah.
Because
all the movement,
people would run, try to get their spot right to get to the next screen to see Tiger up close. And a lot of people were told at the time, hey, you know what? That's kind of the price that you pay for having this many extra people that Tiger's bringing into the tent. And to some degree, I think that would be the counter to the people who are anti-Caitlin Clark and she doesn't deserve this. Look at the dollars and the eyeballs she's bringing into the tent.
Right.
There is going to be a little bit of a trade-off there. And you're right. She probably is getting more attention than she deserves in their mind, but it plays like jealousy. It really does.
No doubt. All right, gents. I don't have any bag on my shoulder. This is where we go. Larry. We got it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where do we have it?
I'm communicating with my guy Grandy, the young gun.
You're allowed to stay as long as you want.
Oh, see, you didn't say that.
No, you can always
good,
stay.
I'm good.
He's not going
Okay, let's
anywhere.
relax. Everybody chill.
But you also
See, now you're talking
also
like you
can-
want me out.
No,
You can leave at any time.
That's right.
It's your family. You
Yeah.
guys are both family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm a little offended by the Northgate Broncos shirt because,
Randy!
Northgate hasn't done anything in football in about 37 years, but that's all right.
That's so funny you would say that because that could not be further from the truth.
They had a good year this year in D4?
wow.
Look at that.
Just drops the D4 in
What
there.
happened?
Dibs.
What happened?
It's a good team. It's a hell of a team.
Okay.
It's a hell of a squad.
This year coming up or in the past? Because I know
Well,
that
my son played corner and receiver for them. They were pretty good. They had, 1 year they played up and they weren't as good. The next year they played down. They were really good.
Love it.
Gotcha. I know that Los Lomas normally, hands them their lunch. Let alone,
They beat Los Lomas, I believe, this year.
that's a big rivalry game.
There you go.
School separated by about 700 yards as
There you
the
go.
crow flies. No
you go.
doubt.
We'll be
yeah.
listening on 9.